What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB DFS video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I am at GreenlightDFS.com. You already know. Early slate. We do have an early and a main slate for MLB today. Early slate has already been posted. Optimal lineups for early has already been posted at Greenlight DFS, and main will be posted 30 minutes before the main slate later on. I'm going to talk about the main slate in this one. I'm not going to get into the early slate. I'm going to talk about the main slate in this video. Thank you guys for joining me as always. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad. Go get in before that early slate starts, and you'll be able to get early and main with your access today. All right? But anyway, getting into the slate for today, the first place that I'm looking obviously is pitching, trying to get the pitching together. Spencer Strider obviously is probably has the most natural talent out of the bunch. Like he's just incredibly talented. He is traveling to Boston though, and his price is 12.7. So I don't know if I'm going to get any of him in GPPs. He always has the most upside on a slate because of his strikeout upside. But um, I'm not going to be playing him much in cash games. I'm not going to have many lines with him, period. Maybe sprinkle a couple in with him if you're playing a bunch. But Strider's not much interest in that. What I am interested in is Framber Valdez and Carlos Rodon. Now, I understand that Valdez is facing a good Texas squad, but Valdez is at home in Houston where he's been incredible. He pitches fantastic at home in Houston. He is an elite level pitcher at home in Houston for 2,000 less than Strider. You know what I mean? So it just feels really good to me. And overall, top pitcher on the slate is probably Framber Valdez for me. Yes, I get it. He's facing Texas, and Texas has been a solid offense. But even if you look at Vegas, Texas is one of the lowest projected scoring teams of the slate today. You know what I mean? So not only has Valdez been amazing at home in Houston, but Vegas also sees that and expects Texas to kind of struggle a bit here. So really like Valdez as one of the pitchers. And then Carlos Rodon at 9K. Rodon has always been one of the elite guys when it comes to K percents. Like this guy's got some amazing K stuff. He's always had a high K rate, very high K rate. And what's key in DFS? Getting these guys with that high K potential. Going against the Mets isn't the most ideal matchup you could ever ask for, but Rodon is at home in New York, and he has been incredible. Once again, just like Valdez, he's been incredible at home in New York. It's a very small sample. He hasn't made a ton of starts, but he's looked incredible. So at 9K, I really like Rodon. He just feels like he's got some major K upside in this one. Really like his spot. So Valdez and Rodon are the two pitchers that I'm rolling with on the slate today. Both happen to be at home in their respective spots, and both offenses that they're on, I want some exposure to. First spot that I'm going to talk about, though, is going to be Matt Olson at first base. Matt Olson obviously has had an amazing year. I don't really got to tell y'all about that. He's just been great. He's got a 272 ISO and a 375 WOBA versus right-handed pitching. Yes, they're on the road, and Atlanta does most of its damage at home, but they do a lot of damage on the road, too. It's not like they struggle a ton while they're on the road. I mean, they're just unstoppable while they're at home in Atlanta. So I really like this spot for Matt Olson, though, when it comes to that first base position. I have some money because there's some value that I'm liking as well today, and I'll talk about one or two of them. But Matt Olson, just, yeah, incredible spot, lefty righty against Bello. Really like that spot for him. And as you can see, he's projected much higher than everyone. So I really like this spot for Matt Olson today. All right. All right, so when it comes to value today, one of the value spots that I really like, I'm going to go a couple value after going Olson. One of the value spots that I like is going to be Andrew Benintendi. Andrew Benintendi is just an overall consistent bat. He's at home in Chicago, I believe. Yeah, at home in Chicago, leading off for this White Sox squad that Vegas has projected to score a good bit of runs here. Lefty righty against Stroman. Just overall consistent, solid bat with Benintendi. I feel pretty good about him at only 2.9, leading off for a solid team total in this lefty righty matchup. So Benintendi's a guy at 2.9 that sticks out to me. And then another value spot that I'm going to go with today is going to be Ian Happ. Ian Happ sticks out to me as well. Chicago is also an offense that's expected to have a good game here against Lance Lynn. Now, as we know, Lance Lynn has games where he's just absolutely on point. The Chicago team does have some lefties to this lineup, though, that's been hitting righties pretty well, and one of those guys is Ian Happ. He's been hitting righties fairly well this year. He got a solid WOBA, solid WRC plus. He's just been solid on the road versus righties, and this is a good spot for him at 3-3. Vegas has Chicago at a solid team total, so yeah, it's a good spot for him, and he's cheap. So outside of that other value, I like Higashioka at catcher for New York. Let's sort point per salary. Laureano sticks out. He's always been solid versus lefties. Suzuki has stolen base upside as well. He's got the righty matchup against Lance Lynn, and Lynn's pretty good versus righties. But at the end of the day, on a slate where we don't have a huge amount of options, he's a solid spot to go with as well. There, Harrison Bader's always been pretty damn good against lefties. He's going against Quintana. There's multiple options on this slate that you can roll with, multiple spots that stick out. I mean, Wilmer Flores, um, Austin Slater at 3-4. All these guys are solid spots, and I have interest in all of them. All right, but the core over here on DK is going to be Valdez, Rodon, Matt Olson as a spend up for Atlanta, Andrew Benintendi, and Ian Happ. And the reason why I'm spending up for Matt Olson and like spending up at other positions over like having a Acuna, which look, Acuna's always in play if you have the money. Always in play. But I really like the value in the outfield. Benintendi, Ian Happ. I talked about, what's his name? Austin Slater as a value in the outfield. Let's go to outfield. I like some value in the outfield. It's one of the spots that's definitely got value options. Laureano, Benintendi, Happ, Suzuki, Bader, Austin Slater. Like there's a good bit of options in the outfield for me, so I prefer to kind of spend up at other positions that might not have as good a value. Um, for personally looking at the slate so far this morning, looking at the main slate, that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right, so Olsen, Benintendi, Happ, Valdez, Rodon as the core there. Let's check FanDuel real quick. Let's take a look at FanDuel and see what we're working with over here. All right. At the top of the list projection-wise is Valdez, but point per dollar it's going to be Rodon by a mile because Rodon's only 7.6. So for me, Rodon is the guy to go with over on FanDuel. He just feels amazing. Feels like an amazing option. All right. When it comes to bats, immediately Ozzy Albies sticks out to me because he's the cheaper of the elite Atlanta bats. He's in a fantastic spot, man. I mean, I know we prefer him versus lefties, but he's solid versus righties this year as well. Gleyber Torres, righty-lefty matchup is interesting to me. Harrison Bader at 2.9 is going to be interesting. Great versus lefties going against Quintana. Solid New York total today as well. What else? Ian Happ's 3K. Wilmer Flores at 3-1 is interesting. Let's go ahead and put Wilmer in. Wilmer's got that righty-lefty matchup today. That's always good. Seiya Suzuki 2.8. Really like that. So that's kind of the core. Just looking over what we have options real quick. Rodon, Ozzy Albies at 3.8. Like I said, he's one of the elite bats in this Atlanta offense. Get you exposure to that Atlanta offense for the cheapest that you can get over here on FanDuel. But obviously, if you have the money, all the other options are perfectly fine as well. Wilmer Flores, righty-lefty matchup at 3-1. Harrison Bader, only 2.9, righty-lefty. Great versus lefties. Seiya Suzuki at only 2.8. Stolen base potential. Has been hitting the ball very well. Solid projected total from Vegas as well. So great spot for these guys. And that's it. Thank you guys for joining me as always, man. Good luck. Hit up greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. If you hit it up before the early slate starts in about 20 minutes from the moment I'm ending this video, you'll be able to get early and main with your access. All right? Thank you guys for joining me. I'm out. Peace.